so resultant force. Okay, I will go very quickly. Okay, what is resultant force? Okay, resultant force. Okay, if you have your module, you can open up your module and highlight kat situ semua. Okay, so that you at least ada idea lah when we talk about force. Okay, resultant force. Okay, when we talk about force, you have learned this one. Force is mass times acceleration. Okay, so that's the formula. How do we get that? We get from first law of motion. So what is the statement of first law of motion? So first law of motion states that if no external force, okay, an object will stationary remain. If the object is stationary, it will remain stationary. If it is moving, it will keep on moving at a constant speed. Okay. Now that is the statement of first law of motion. Okay. And then we also have third law of motion. So what is the statement of third law of motion? If object A exerts a force on object B, then object B will exert and what? Anyone? And okay, let's say I have a book. I think I have mentioned this one in the class already. Okay, that's why I want to do this very quickly. So if this is a book, okay, if I have a book here, right? So if there is, okay, if object A, okay, let's say this is A, an object exert a force on object B, then object B will exert an apa? So this one is a table. So what is the force a book has now? What is the force that the book has? Alia Zahira? What do you think the force on the book? The book is stationary now. Yeah? Yes, Amira, you want to say anything?
Gravitational force.
Gravitational force. Excellent. Okay, very good. Okay, so ada gravitational force. Okay, and that we sama ada kita buat macam tu, but usually we write is W. Betul tak? W means weight. Okay,
Yes.
ada weight. Okay, there is weight. There is weight on the book. Okay, now. Okay, it says here if object A exert a force. So this is the force exerted by book A. Now, what is the other force? Then object B. So this one, ni table ni B. So table B will exert an
Equilibrium.
and apa? Okay,
Equal
equilibrium. Ada
force.
somebody says that. Is it equilibrium? Okay, cuba lagi. Thank you Adilia. Siapa lagi nak cuba? Is it equilibrium?
Equal force.
Okay, thank you very much. An equal force. Okay. An equal force. Saya buat simbol je. But the force is opposite. So, kalau kita buat gambar. Okay, so I have drawn this one. Okay, saya dah buat anak panah ke bawah. And then there is another force exerted by B to A. So, that is force. Usually, we call it normal force. And the value is equal to whatever the weight of the book. Understand? So that is third law of motion. So that's the third law of motion. Okay, so you can complete that in your notebook. Okay, in your what? In your module book. Okay, so and then we look at addition of forces and resultant forces. So the when you look at that, okay, the statement kat situ, what is resultant force? So resultant force definition is a single force. Okay? Single force. How do you get that single force? So that single force comes from, okay, two or more combined forces. Okay? So they produce the same effect. Maksudnya, you look at this diagram A ni. Okay, I have two forces here. One is 3 Newton, one is 4 Newton. So the forces acting on the object 2 kg. Okay, but okay, so resultant force says okay, these values tu value dua-dua tu equal to 7. Seolah-olah ada 7. Kenapa? We just combine them. Kita tambahkan saja. Okay? And then just now we have mentioned okay daripada Newton's law of motion kita dapat F we know that F equals to ma. Alright, so now we know our okay F tu apa? What is F actually? What is F actually? F is
Force.
okay, force ni awak kena tulis dekat sini. This is not not simply a force it is a resultant force. Therefore, you must know this one is resultant force. Okay, so what's the resultant force of this object to on the object 2 kg now? What's the value? Norman, what's the value of this resultant force for on the object 2 kg ni? Norman?
Yes.
What is the resultant force now acting on the 2 kg object?
7 Newton.
Okay, thank you Norman. 7 Newton. So ada 7 Newton. So daripada formula ni awak dapat je. Okay, so substitute. And then equals to okay, what's the M? Do you know the mass? Aina Batrisha, what's the
2.
mass?
2.
2. Okay, so just substitute 2 kg here. Okay. Now, what is the acceleration? Okay, katalah saya tak ada nilai tu. So, what's A? So, awak letak saja A and then you solve the problem. A equals to 7 Newton divide by 2 kg and 7 bahagi 2. Berapa nilai tu? 3.5 meter per second squared. So, you get the answer from that formula. Okay, so that's how you use that formula. Okay, now, so we can get resultant force by adding them up ataupun okay, we can get the resultant force by drawing method. Okay, ada bigger sheep besar lah. Okay, sheep ni rosak and then dia 60 degree antara dua-dua kapal tu. Okay, so how to draw? So first, okay, awak boleh mula dari mana-mana. Katalah awak nak mula daripada boat A. Okay, so you draw first boat A. Okay, contoh awak ada baris and then awak start lah. Boat A tu 3000. Kalau 3000 and then you write lah 1 cm equals to 1000 Newton. Jadi kalau sini 0 cm, okay, sini 0. So 1 cm, 1, 2, 3. Kecil no, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so tu dia. So that's 3 cm. Okay, so I write A, which is 3000 Newton 3 cm. Okay, and then kalau itu kita nak triangle method. So it says here mesti tail to tip. Apa tu? Kalau ini arrow, this is the tail, this is the tip. So tail tip, tail tip, tail tip. Dia mesti bertemu macam ni. Tail tip, tail tip, tail tip. Understand? So kalau awak tengok gambar ni, is it tail to tip kat sini? Tak kan? Itu adalah tail dengan tail. So tak boleh macam tu. Kita kena adjust ataupun change the position, tukar position B so that dia jadi tail, head, tail, tail tip, tail tip. Tapi you cannot change the direction. That means direction macam ni kita kena maintain kan. Okay, so now it's 60 degree. Kalau dia 60 degree di situ, maksudnya if I want to make it macam ni, saya nak buat begini. Supaya dia tail, tip, tail, tip. Jadi sudut sini berapa? Kalau sini dia 60. Sini?
60 juga.
60 juga Matematik kalau sudut macam tu berapa total dia? Sisi juga ke Hafizi?
Tak boleh ditukar.
120 kan?
Cikgu.
Okay, 130 minus.
120.
Yes, 180
120
minus.
bro.
Lagi sikit, 120. Betul?
20.
Betul.
Alright, so awak buatlah sudut 120 macam mana sudut. So kalau sini sekarang ni dia kalau kosong sini sorry. Sini kita nak jadikan dia kosong. So 120 macam mana? Awak buat angle 120. Macam mana awak nak letak protector awak tu? Supaya dia 120. Okay, yang ni kita jadikan dia kosong. Kita nak kosong kat sini. Okay, 120. Okay, tak apa, ataupun saya tak boleh nak agak lah 120. Okay, saya buat kat sini lah. Okay, kita ubah balik Saya buat macam ni. So, 1, 2, 3. Saya ubah yang ni saya padam. Sebab saya tak kerti pula dah beku pula otak. Okay, sorry Okay, so this one 30,000, masih lagi 3 cm. Okay, jadi nak 120 daripada mana? Daripada sini. Nak 120. Jadi kosong 120 tu mana? Okay. Ya, 120 tolak lagi 60 lah. So 60. Okay, macam tu. Okay. So 120. So berapa tu kita nak draw? Berapa cm?
4 cm.
4 cm.
4 cm cikgu.
1, 2, mana? 1, 2, 3, 4. Saya punya ni tak ada ni. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okey, sampai situ. So maksud dalam exam awak kena hati-hati lah macam saya buat ni. Kan? So kat sini 4,000 Newton, which is this is B, this is A. Alright. So berapa dia punya resultant force? Okay, kalaulah dia yang the given forces, kita boleh buat kita mesti buat tail tip. But when we want to get the resultant force, so the resultant force kita temukan tail to tip yang lain. Tail dia ni kita temukan dengan tip yang last. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Okay, tail yang hujung bertemu dengan tip yang lain satu. Macam tu. Okay, so this one is tail the A kena temukan dengan tip B. Okay, so macam mana tu? So ambil pembaris kan, gariskan saja daripada tail ni ke tip sana. Okay. Right, lebih kurang lah sebab pembaris saya ni pembaris yang digital, tak susah sikit. So draw lah ke situ. Okay, so mana arah dia? So arah dia tail to tip lah. So this is tail, this is tip. So that's the direction. Okay, what's the value then? How do you get the value? Siapa nak teka? Naufal? What do you think? How to get the value, Naufal? Agak-agaknya. Ashura. Ya? Yeah? Ukur guna pembaris. Okay, thank you. Very good. Okay, tengok ni kosong sampai ke situ berapa? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 point berapa tu? 6 point something lah, 6.3. So 6.3. Kalau 6.3 cm equals to berapa thousand? 6,300 Newton lebih kurang. Okay. Sebenarnya mungkin saya punya jawapan ni a little bit off lah, salah wrong. Because I don't use actual ruler. But make sure dia ada range lah value yang diterima. Because drawing kan, depends on your drawing. Okay. But we can prove that one using our calculation. So ada calculation juga yang kita boleh buat, tapi calculation tu mesti guna awak punya matematik punya formula lah. Make sure you know the formula. So kat sini what's the value tadi again? 120. Kenapa 120? I answered already kan. Okay, so that's how you get using triangle method. So nampak tak bentuk triangle? And then make sure when you use triangle method, tail to tip. Okay, now we look at second method. Okay, second method is parallelogram method. Okay, nama dia bagi you idea. Macam mana parallelogram method? Do you remember how to draw parallelogram? Parallelogram punya bentuk macam mana? What's the shape of parallelogram? Macam ni kan? Parallel lah. Dia parallel macam tu. Yang okay, dua ni parallel dengan yang tu. Okay, so kita kena ada four arrows. So the first arrow, okay, macam tadi lagi, masih lagi okay, awak draw lah. Sama arah yang sama lah. So 3000 kat sini. So 3 cm. 3 cm starts from tadi juga 1 2, 3. So 3 cm there. Okay, so that's A. And then kita nak tengok B. B kat mana? B dekat bawah and then dia adalah 60 degree. Okay, so kalau 60 degree berapa? Jadi 30. So 60. Okay. Kat sini. Buat 30 campur 30, 60 kan? Alright, so sekarang ni B. Kenapa saya buat 30 sebab kat sini dia dah 30. Kan? Saya punya gambar tu sini dah 30. So saya cari lagi 30 kat bawah. Jadi total 60. Okay, so berapa cm? 4 cm. 1, 2, 3, 4. Awak kenalah 30 betul-betul Okay, so 4 cm here. So that's B. Okay, and this one 60 degree. Okay, so we want to draw parallelogram. Okay, ini mesti sama. You cannot change the direction of the arrows tu. Tak boleh buat ni. Okay, and then kita lengkapkan. So kita akan dapat parallelogram. So macam nak lengkapkan? Ambil pembaris tu balik. Okay, awak buat mesti make sure dia parallel. So how do you do? So kalau ambil pembaris awak tu in real life, okay, tengok pembaris tu macam ni kan? Nampak tak? Pembaris tu on the line. So tarik je pembaris tu supaya they are parallel. Don't change the direction. Okay, nampak? Masih lagi angle yang sama. Sepatutnya 30 bukan 31. Okay, tapi saya lebih kurang je lah. Nak cepatkan sikit ni. Lambat pula. Okay, so this one. Okay. So this one. Okay. And another one awak buat. Okay, gerakkan ruler tu supaya dia angle sama dengan tadi lah. Oh, dia tak nak berubah dah pula. Okay, saya tak guna pembaris sebab pembaris dia dah jam. Saya guna my own ruler betul-betul. So, buat another line. So, this is the line. Okay. So, itu parallelogram kita. So, this one parallel to that. Yang ini parallel yang ni. Okay, so mana dia punya resultant force? Sebab tujuan kita draw tadi nak dapat resultant force. So, where is the resultant force? Kat mana agaknya? So, the answer is, the resultant force is in the middle ni. Awak gariskan daripada hujung ke hujung tu. Okay. Ni balik. Okay. So, that is the resultant force. So, what's the value? Ukur lah. Guna baris. So, bila ukur guna baris, okay, jawapan dia sama dengan atas tu, which is 6.3 cm. Jadi, kalau 6.3 cm, sepatutnya juga awak dapat dia 6,300 Newton. Okay, so that is parallelogram method. Okay, yang ni pun saya kena betulkan ni. Ni tak boleh macam ni. So, ini sebab apa? Sebab I cannot actually change the direction. Kalau change direction dia, jawapan direction tu agak berbeza lah. Okay, so okay, tak apa. So that's parallelogram method and triangle method. Okay, and if kenapa we use triangle method or parallelogram method when the angle, so when the two forces are not perpendicular. Sudut dia adalah bukan 90 darjah. But if we have the angles 90 degree, so maksudnya this one, you can use Pythagoras theorem. Maksudnya contohlah objek ni ditarik 90 darjah. Objek X tarik ada force X tarik objek A, ada force Y tarik objek A juga. So dia yang ni 90 darjah. So nak selesaikan ni you can just use theorem Pythagoras lah. Okay, you change ni head tail, you just change the position tapi arah masih sama. Okay, this is Y, this is X. This is the resultant force. Okay, awak boleh guna Pythagoras theorem je lah. So kalau X ni 20 Newton, yang ni 35 Newton. So 20 plus 20 squared plus 35 squared. Then dapatlah the resultant force. Tekan kalkulator. Berapa tu? Kalau tak saya kena kira malahnya 40.31 unit Newton. Okay, thank you. Okay, so itu cara-cara drawing and also calculations, alright? And then we learn about circular motion. Thank you. Okay, Newton's first law kata apa? Tadi kita dah tengok awal tadi we have looked at first law of motion and third law of motion. Now, Newton's first law states that apa tadi? An object will remain stationary or keep moving at constant velocity unless acted by an unbalanced force. Maksudnya, katalah saya ada two forces, okay? Selagi there is no, as long as there is no external force, the object will remain as it is before. Kalau objek tu dia tengah statik, dia akan statik je lah. Contoh awak ada buku atas meja sekarang kan. Awak tak usik buku tu. So the buku will remain stationary. Tapi kalau awak apply force, external force, awak tweak sikit, that is an external force. So what happen to the book? Dia akan ada bergerak. It will no longer remain stationary. Okay. So, an object that is moving in a circular motion also can be explained and will have resultant force. Okay, we'll have resultant force. We are still under topic resultant force. Okay, when an object moves in a circular path, its direction is changing all the time. Do you understand this one? When an object moves in a circular path, its direction is changing all the time. Look at this diagram.
Yes.
Okay, look at that diagram. Okay, apa maksudnya changing all the time? Nampak tak bila dia berpusing? Okay, this student, okay, dia ada pegang tali tu. Tali tu, ni ada objek macam pendulum lah kan. Dia pegang pendulum tu dalam jarak jauh. And then dia berpusing macam orang main sukan apa yang tu dah lama tak ada olahraga. Kalau
Lontar peluru cikgu.
Lontar peluru macam tu
Kan.
Lompat cakra ibu, lompat cakra.
Lontar peluru dia kita tak kat kepala macam tu kan.
Lepas pukul dulu.
Apa yang dia ala-ala lontar peluru ni yang overseas punya lah kot dekat smart card tak ada. Tapi dia ada tali kat ujung.
Tapi dia pakai tali.
Kan ada kan? Okay, katalah macam tu ataupun cowboy ke whatever lah. Ada tali, lepas tu ada okay, so masa orang tu berpusing, okay, what happened to the, saya panggil pendulum lah what happened to the pendulum bob? Dia berpusing juga kan? And the direction is changing all the time. Betul tak? Setuju tak? Kan?
Setuju.
Okay. So kita kata kat sini when an object move in a circular path, its direction always changing. Ingat tu. Direction always changing. Okay. And then kalau kita tengok balik, according to Newton's first law, there must be an unbalanced force acting upon it all the time. Okay. Okay, bila statement of Newton's law kata, okay, object will remain stationary ataupun will moving at constant velocity under a unbalanced force applied. Bila ada je unbalanced force applied, no longer stationary, no longer constant velocity. So that means when an object that is moving, then the object tu always changing the direction. Therefore, Newton first law dah tak apply dah. Maksudnya, there is unbalanced force. Okay. Kepening dah. Okay, and then when an object moves in a circle, okay. So you need to know when an object is moving in a circle, the speed is always constant. Okay, but the direction is continuously changing. Agree? Kita dah discuss dah ni tadi kan? Agree kan?
Betul.
Okay, direction continuously changing. Ingat tu, ingat direction always changing. Dan awak kena tahu kenapa direction dia changing. Memang change pun lah. Tengok anak panah pun changing. Betul? Next.
Betul.
Therefore, what happened to its velocity? What happens to its velocity?
Change juga.
Change juga. Why? Why? Why am Sebab apa? Siapa yang jawab tadi tu?
Speed. Speed is change.
Speed tak change. Jadi kan saya kata speed dia constant. So maksudnya this one pendulum, kalau the speed is 3 meter per second, so dia always 3 meter per second. Here pun 3 meter per second, 3 meter per second, 3 meter per second. It always constant.
Speed dia sama.
Speed dia constant. Tapi kenapa velocity is said changing?
Sebab direction dia berubah ke?
Direction change.
Direction dia berubah.
Ya, betul. So you have to recall back the difference between speed and velocity.
Velocity.
Apa bezanya? Allah. Apa bezanya velocity and speed? Okay, speed and velocity. What's the difference between them? Speed we consider only its magnitude. Magnitude tu apa? Magnitude tu nilai dia. Kan? But velocity we have
Direction.
magnitude
And
and Allah and direction. So since the direction is continuously changing, therefore although the speed is constant but the velocity always changing. Faham kan tu? Although the speed is constant, nilai dia constant. But because of the direction always changing, velocity changing. Faham tak Haras? Any question?
Cikgu.
Okay. So the changing velocity in time means object is accelerating all the time. Therefore, because the speed is always the velocity is always changing, maksudnya dia ada acceleration. The object is accelerating. Okay? So and then just now we learn about resultant force. Resultant force, if the object is if an object has a resultant force, that means the object is moving with an acceleration. Therefore, we say an object that is moving in a circular motion, okay, there is resultant force acting on the object. So the resultant force causes acceleration. So what is the name of this resultant force? So ada special name for resultant force untuk object in moving in circular motion. So what is the name of the force?
Centripetal force.
Yes. So centripetal force tu apa? So centripetal force is the resultant force of an object that is moving in a circular motion.
Motion.
So where is the direction of centripetal force? So kita sekarang ni kita nak tengok lah. So kita dah faham dah. Kita dah faham how centripetal force is formed. Macam mana dia boleh terhasil? Okay, so awak dah faham. Sebab objek tu ada acceleration. Kenapa ada acceleration? Because the velocity is always changing. Kenapa velocity is always changing? Kan speed tadi constant. Because the direction is always change. Okay, so centripetal force is a force that always acting towards the center of the circle. Tengok gambar. Mana yang direction towards the center? Yang warna merah, arrow merah ataupun arrow biru?
Warna
The blue
merah.
one, the red one kan dah label pun. So centripetal
Hmm.
force always acting towards the center of the circle. So it is a force that is needed. So in order to move in circular motion, so centripetal force is always needed by the object. It is needed, bukan it is dia bukan terhasil. Kita dah ada 48 orang, so saya download kedatangan sebelum saya lupa So siapa yang tak datang, nanti saya nak kena bagi report. Okay, siapa yang tak datang ni? Saya dah download ke belum? Download aku. Alright, so it is force that is needed, not caused by circular motion. Maksudnya centripetal force tu bukan dihasilkan oleh dia diperlukan. Tanpa the force, the object will not move in circular motion. Okay? Alright, so that is the example. You can read the example. Okay, so this one lah, you can read it. Okay, if a ball is tied to the end of a strong string, the centripetal force which causes the inward acceleration. Macam ni So ada gambar ni, mana kalau awak diminta draw the direction, so this is the centripetal force. Okay, so lawan centripetal force tu apa? Ni, arah yang bertentangan. And the name is centrifugal force. Okay, what is centrifugal force? Centrifugal force is the force acting opposite to the center of the circle. So that is what makes slingshot. So ni namanya slingshot, go outward. Kalau awak terputus yang ni, so this force will make the object fly. Woo, macam tu. Okay. Right, so these are a few questions. Okay, I will update this one. So walaupun you have the module, awak boleh buat lah. So saya akan post juga sebagai quiz later on untuk today. Now, kita nak masuk. Okay, soalan yang ni a car is travelling around. Nampak question number 3?
Nampak cikgu, nampak.
Okay,
Nampak.
Jasmine. Ada tak Jasmine? Arisa Jasmine. Arisa Jasmine, what's the answer? In which direction is the resultant force on the car? What's the answer, Arisa? Lukman, jawapan dia apa?
Saya cikgu A, cikgu A.
A. Ponat dia. Ponek dia nak explain. A jawapannya Okay,
Oh,
terima
B
kasih
lah, cikgu.
cuba.
B lah cikgu.
Terima kasih cuba tapi salah.
B
Apa
lah cikgu.
jawapan dia?
B.
Aduh. Benar lah. Tak apa tersilap tersasul tersasul. Okey. Terima kasih cuba. Ya, jawapan dia mestilah
B.
B anak-anak. B. Kenapa B? Nama apa? Apa nama resultant force tu? What's the name of that resultant force? Ya?
Centripetal force.
Centripetal.
Centripetal force. Kan tadi kita bagi tahu centripetal force always pointing into the center of the circle.
Center.
Okay, right. Okay, an object travels in a circular path at constant speed. Which statement about the object is correct? It has changing kinetic energy. Betul salah? Adriana Patricia, betul ke salah? Statement A. Okay, statement B. It has changing momentum. Is it true? Hanisa?
Ya, saya cikgu.
B. Betul tak statement B? Statement A, statement B.
Statement B betul.
Statement B betul. Okey. Kenapa?
Sebab
What is the formula? Okay, thank you Hanisa. Very good. Okay, what is the formula for momentum? M times V. So it says that momentum has change. It has changing. Momentum changing. Betul tak momentum changing? Betul.
Betul.
Tapi
Sebab velocity
always.
changing.
Yes, because velocity always changing in circular path. It has constant velocity, salah. Kan? It is not accelerating pun salah. It is always accelerating. Okay, thank you.
Accelerate.
Okay, good. Okay. Nah, okay, yang lain tu try sendiri later. Okay, ni scalars and vectors. We have discussed this one. Okay. Tadi we talk about resultant force. Saya pergi sangat laju Siapa tak faham boleh pausekan saya. Jaga lagi tak? Resultant force tadi. Resultant. Kita tambahkan. Ada dua. So kita tambahkan. Now resolution. Apa tu? Resolution. Resolve. This is from the word resolve. So that means we have one force at an angle. Contoh. And then we resolve the force so that it has vertical and horizontal components. Mana tu? Okay, so awak kan belajar, contoh lah, we have graph, okay, we have x-axis and y-axis. Betul tak? Okay, and then if I draw a graph, okay, so this is, okay, ni, saya ambil ni, saya letak kat sana. So this is the force. Okay, 20 degree. So I want to say that, so this force here, so this resultant force, we can resolve it into y component and x component. Okay, how do we do that? Okay, tengok gambar ni, this diagram ni. Okay, so this is the resultant force tadi. Okay, so kita ada F1 and F2. So F1 and F2 itu adalah component of FR. Tadi kita buat daripada F1 campur F2 dapat FR. Okay, so terbalikkan. Okay, a single force, okay, a single force can also be resolved or broken up into two components. This is what we call as resolution of forces. Usually a force is resolved into components which are perpendicular to each other. Okay, tengok ni yang saya buat tadi, kita ada single force. Daripada single force kita dapatkan Fy, kita dapatkan Fx. How do we get that? Kita gunakan trigonometry. Do you familiar with this formula? Are you familiar with that formula?
Yes.
Kan? Okay. So cos theta, awak hafal macam mana? I don't know lah. You use your method nak hafal. Saya guna method apa? Saya takut hantu. Saya takut hantu. Tak takut sangat kalau saya hantu. Gitu. Tu masa kecil-kecil tu saya ingat ni masa saya sekolah rendah, sekolah menengah. Saya hafal sampai sekarang. Sebab saya buat ayat macam gitulah nak hafal. Tak tahu saya dengan kawan-kawan ni. Tapi awak ikutlah awak punya cara kan. Sin soh cah tua ke benda tak kan. Apa ni? Okay, ni sin theta. Kalau saya punya lah. Ni sin theta. So setentang. Tentang tu apa? Saya guna bahasa Melayu. Masa tu. Ginilah. Kan? Ini ada sudut. So ni FR. So ni katalah Fx, this is Fy. Okay, so if saya guna ni lah sin theta, tentang tu setentang dengan theta tu lah. So maksudnya sin theta sama dengan Fy, setentang kan? Setentang. Over hypotenuse dia Fr. So tak takut sangat, tak takut tu tangent theta, tak takut tentang dia Fy. Sangat tu sebelah Fx. So it's up to you. Kalau saya hantu cos theta, saya tu sebelah Fx over hypotenuse. So that's how I remember. So you use your own way to remember ya, tak kisah. Jadi bila kita hafal benda tu, if that is those things are at your fingertip, So tak kira keluar soalan macam mana pun awak boleh jawab. So daripada sini kita tengok cos theta equals to this diagram. Look at this diagram. So what is theta? Theta sini cos. Cos tadi apa? Setentang ataupun opposite
Oh.
Over. What is the opposite? Bukan opposite lah. Salah. Apa? Sebelah Kalau saya hantu.
Adjacent.
F.
Over. Hypotenuse.
Yelah, apa adjacent dia? What is the
Fx.
Fx over hypotenuse. So what's the hypotenuse?
F.
F. So dapatlah tu. Okay. Jadi, and then kalau soalan nak Fy, what is, okay, so if we want Fx, or rearrange lah formula, Fx equals to F cos theta. Okay. So now look at this example. Okay, we have a single force. What's the value of the single force? Nampak ke? Kecil sangat? Besar tak? Boleh baca kan? Tak ada respon pula. Nak cepat
Boleh.
Okay, find the horizontal or vertical
Boleh,
border. Kalau tak nampak beritahu lah. Kalau diam tu maksudnya okay. Okay, so macam nak buat ni? I want to know the Fx. So Fx, kenapa guna Fx? Senang je lah. Kalau graf, ini X, ini Y. So paksi X, paksi Y tu. Saya macam tu kan. Jadi kalau ini the force. So yang ni Fx punya komponen, ni Fy, komponen Fy. So Fx yang mana? So saya nak Fx. So macam mana Fx? Awak nak guna apa? Iya, Izzati. Izzati, are you here? Izzati, nak dapat Fx macam mana Izzati? Which formula can you use? Bukhari. Oh, Bukhari. Luqman nak jawab. Ya, Luqman? Bukhari, are you here?
Ya, cikgu.
Macam mana Bukhari? Dah pukul 12 dah Bukhari. Macam mana dapatkan Fx? What formula can you use? Cuba Bukhari PM Izwan. Dia tanya pun tak Izwan. Darwish. Are you here Darwish? To get
Cos
Fx.
theta.
Yeah, thank you Darwish. Cos 60. So buatlah disorder ada. Kalau dah hafal awak tak payah buat macam ni. Tapi kalau awak tak hafal, tak payah hafal lah. Kalau hafal nanti pening. Okay, you understand. Okay, cuma bila awak dah biasa guna nanti awak tahu cara paling mudah. So kalau awak tak hafal, buat step by step. Cos 60 degree sama dengan apa tadi Darwish? F. Ayu, tak ada. Fx kan?
FX.
Okay, Fx over
80.
kenapa Fx? Sebab sebelah. Kalau saya hantu tadi, kalau sebelah hantu, saya hantu. Saya bukan hantu Sebelah hypotenuse. Hypotenuse dia apa?
80.
80 Newton. Jadi, I want Fx. So Fx equals to, just rearrange the formula. Tekan calculator. 80 cos 80
Low.
cos 60.
Okay.
What's the answer?
Okay.
40.
Thank you, 40 Newton. Okay. Okay, tak susah. Okay, next. Saya nak Fy untuk 120 ni. Mana Fy?
Fy tu belah 60.
Okay, ni Fy.
Kanan.
Ke bawah ke atas?
Ke bawah.
Pandai. Thank you. Fy. Kenapa ke bawah? Sebab 120 ni dia ke situ. Jadi dia mesti samalah. Alright, so what's formula you can use? Cos, sin, theta?
Guna formula sama.
Cos juga? Okay, formula yang sama, which is cos 60 degree, okay, equals to Fy over hypotenuse. Okay. Kenapa sama? Sebab kita nak yang sebelah. Sebelah dia, sebelah the angle. So kita guna yang sama. Jangan guna sin. So jangan menghafal membuta tuli. You cannot hafal lah. You must understand. So you just calculate lah 60 Okay, so that's how you resolve forces. This is another example of daily life punya activity. So, this student apply 6 Newton force. So, what is the vertical component? You can get also the horizontal component. So, if you want Fy, how do you calculate? You guna formula apa? Sin, cos, theta? Sin 30 degree equals to Fy over 6 Newton. Boleh tak? And then you dapatlah Fy tu berapa? Fy equals to 6 Newton sin 30 degree. Berapa?
3 Newton.
3 Newton. Betul ke? Forces in equilibrium saya dah sebut tadi. So and when object, apa maksud forces in equilibrium? Nak pergi laju, memang nak pergi laju pun. Forces in equilibrium maksudnya, okay, the net force is 0. Okay, so apa maksudnya? That means if the resultant force is 0, we can also call the forces are in equilibrium. So bila soalan tanya what is the meaning of an object in equilibrium, that means the resultant force is 0 and the moment of force also 0. Okay, the object when the resultant force is 0, the object is at rest or the object is moving at a constant velocity. These are the condition. These are the possible conditions when the object is in equilibrium. It's either the object is at rest, not moving, ataupun the object is moving but it is moving with constant velocity. Okay. Okay semua? Alright. And then when three vectors are in equilibrium. So this one, when three vectors are in equilibrium, the resultant vector is 0. That means, okay, just now I taught you how to draw triangle method kan? Guna triangle method. So nampak tak ni triangle method? Okay, okay, now I have three forces. Force 1, force 2 and force 3. Semua orang diam ni, semua orang okey saya laju sangat ni. Kita ada F1, F2, F3. How many forces? 3. So, every force has different direction. Okay? Aman Naufal, okay? Arisa, okay? Azikri. And then I want you to draw the triangle method. So, bila triangle method, ingat tak tadi mesti from tip to tail. Tail, tip, tail, tip. Ingat tak? Okay, so bila tip tail, so this is tail. So this is tip, this is tail, this is tip, tail, tip. Betul? So I have 3 vectors. So bila saya draw the 3 vectors, okay, saya contoh saya ambil daripada okay, saya nak padam ni semua. Okay, so when you want to draw using triangle method, you can start with whichever. Okay, katalah saya nak start dengan force yang vector B ni. Okay, so bila saya start daripada situ, I want vector A. Make sure the angle, the direction is not changing. So I cannot change the angle. Okay, saya hanya boleh ubah, saya tak boleh ubah arah dia. So saya ubah macam mana? Saya buat parallel.
Sebab dia tak tail tip.
Dia kena tip tail. Okay, cik. Draw line. Okay, itu dia. Baru betul. Tip tail, tip tail. Okay. Tapi the direction is still the same. Okay, and then vector C nak draw macam mana? Ambil daripada situ, ambil pembaris. Awak cuba ambil pembaris, awak letak atas screen phone awak tu, screen laptop awak. Take this kan. Okay, pergi sampai situ. Okay, sepatutnya maksud saya ambil ruler tu buat sama arah, parallel, jangan alih. So, letak di sini. Nampak tak sama line, sama parallel, they are parallel. Slightly different lah. Okay, so bila parallel ni, ni arah yang sama ni. So nampak tak tip tail. So dia bertemu tau. Hujung bertemu. Ada tak ruang untuk awak draw another line? Tak ada lah kan?
Tak ada.
So that means no resultant force. Ingat tak tadi kita kata bila nak buat resultant force guna triangle method, kita ada dua. Kita buat sini, satu sini, and then kita boleh draw another force, and this force is the resultant. Kan? So bila awak boleh draw, that maksudnya itu ada resultant force and it is not in equilibrium. Sekarang awak tak boleh draw any other forces yang macam tu, so no resultant force. Resultant force dia zero. So the object is in equilibrium. Example, this one. Okay, this one. So katalah soalan kata draw triangle diagram of this the forces are in equilibrium. Okay, so what are the forces? Kita ada force A arah sana, force B arah sini, force C arah mana? Atas, bawah? Force on C.
Bawah.
Okay, very good. Kenapa bawah? Because weight.
Ada
It's weight. Weight ke bawah. Jadi, draw the triangle diagram. Soalan macam-macam lah boleh jadi. Soalan ni contoh soalan. You boleh calculate how much is C, how much is B, kan? So, tapi saya nak sekarang ni awak lukis, draw the triangle diagram. So, macam mana lukis? So, contoh saya ambil daripada B. So, that's B. Tail. Head to tail kan? Tail, tip. So, saya A kat mana A?
Dekat belakang.
Sebenarnya you all boleh join lukis dengan saya ni, tapi saya nak tekan tu legit. So, A. Okay, suruh lukis. Okay, so that's A. See, I did not change the direction. Okay, and can I draw C? Kat mana? Okay, please someone draw C. So, ni dia C. Okay, betul tak?
Betul.
Okay, so that's C. So this one B, this one C. So C is not changing. So inilah jawapan awak. Okay.
Lagi lama ni. Muka sebesarnya.
Okay. Alright. Dah.
Tak support ke macam mana?
Alamak, tak support apa? Okay, ni contoh soalan Okay, right. So you can try the questions. Tak sompek nak masuk moments, but you have watched the video. So macam awak dah seolah-olah awak dah buat eksperimen tu lah. Siapa yang tak tengok lagi, maksudnya awak tak ada idea. So nanti you cannot answer exam question. So baca yang ni, nanti kita pergi next week. So tak payah pergi lah sebab awak dah tengok video. So I'm going to repeat. We will just do a few questions to check your understanding. If you cannot answer next week, that means you haven't done the assignment. Boleh tak macam tu? Sebab nota ni pun ringkas je ni. Awak dah tengok dah video eksperimen tu. Okay, so next week we are going to do quiz on moment and other question yang related question yang kita dah buat tadi. Alright class, thank you for what ni bersabar dalam kelas ni. So sabar itu indah kan? Bersabar dalam kelas, insya-Allah awak boleh bergembira suatu hari nanti dengan keputusan exam yang maha bagus, insya-Allah kan? IGCSE, kalau awak dapat IGCSE result bagus, awak akan ada momentum yang best untuk dapatkan result yang best untuk SPM.
Assalamualaikum.
Salam.
Tengok.